These papers represent your thoughts. This is 1,000 sheets. If you stacked 60 reams of these papers tall, estimated that you have over 60,000 thoughts a day. Now here's the kicker. Of that 60,000, this is the amount that are positive, only about 10%. And most people, when they try to change, they go after changing their thinking. Have you ever noticed how hard that is? What, am I gonna change every single one of these thoughts? That seems so overwhelming. But what if I told you that these 60,000 thoughts can be sorted into files? You know how on a desktop computer, if your files are just everywhere, it gets messy? And these are what we call beliefs. We're gonna give you the 5 most toxic, deadly beliefs in this video that you may or may not do. You wanna grab a pen? Because this one is gonna be juicy. First up, let's say you always wanted to start your own business. You're excited, working for yourself, escaping a 9-to-5, freedom. But something in you always goes to worst case scenario. Well, if I start a business, that means I'm putting myself at risk for getting sued and losing everything, and it's all gonna be a waste. I would start that business, but then I have to post myself online, and people are crazy out there. They might stalk me and hunt me down and get in trouble. What that is illustrating is catastrophizing, focusing on the worst case scenario and seeing it as likely. Let's say you're out hanging out with some friends, you're single, you wanna meet someone. In this case, you see a cute girl in the corner and you wanna go up and talk to her. Like clockwork, boom, your mind kicks on and immediately goes to you getting slapped, told the F off, and getting a drink thrown in your face. Or another example, let's just say you have a cough. It's been there for a few days, and so what do? You get the great idea to go on Google and start Googling your symptoms. And in less than 3 minutes, you are convinced that you have cancer. Even though there's a smallest smudge of a percentage that you might, that's what we hone in on and that's what we focus. And now your whole day is spent stressing about it, which makes it worse. You might even envision your funeral and what they're gonna say at your eulogy when you die. That worst case can change situation to situation, and that's how it runs rampant. Let's just say you're on a strict diet and you're gonna get shredded. You're committed. This time it's different. But you catch yourself at 11 o'clock at night, sneak into that freezer where the Ben & Jerry's is. I've been working hard, just one taste. I deserve it. You were right, it is delicious. And now you catch yourself eating spoon 2, 3, 4. Now, even though you've only eaten 4 spoonfuls, your brain tells you, well, we've already come this far, and before you know it, you finish the pint. The next day, your mind goes, well, we had ice cream last night, so I guess I'm off my diet, and you binge. You skip the gym because why bother? I'm off. This pattern repeats for a day, a week, a month even, before you finally catch yourself and you say, enough, I wanna get shredded again. You do intermittent fasting, you go to the gym 7 times a week, you're oscillating between extremes. That is what is known as all or nothing thinking. Black and white thinking. It's all or nothing. It's either a success or it's a failure. If you're not first, you're last. And if you catch yourself falling into this trap a lot, you may self-identify as a perfectionist, which is funny because in coaching, I find that perfectionists and procrastinators often have the same black and white thinking. It's all or nothing. Oh, I don't want to do it now because I'll procrastinate because I can't do it good now. So I'll get to it when I can do it good. So why is this bad? Isn't it good to have high standards? Isn't it good to be all in on things and aim for the stars? Absolutely. But black and white thinking, all or nothing, robs you from the process of getting good. It's the quantity that often produces the quality. Don't let great be the enemy of good. So allow yourself to fail and find balance, because that's how you ultimately figure it out. I was coaching a client who wanted to get into filming content. The problem wasn't that he didn't have the gear, wasn't that he didn't know what he was talking about. It was that every single time he went to press record, he was afraid that there was a person on the other side hanging on his every word, getting ready to type a nasty comment. Well, I can just feel the pressure when I'm delivering a message of what people are already starting to type. In other words, he was trying to read their mind before he even did anything. Mind read, assuming that we know what other people are thinking without evidence and without asking. And so I gave him an exercise that really helped me. Commit to finishing every single video. And 9 times out of 10, the videos that you think are bombing or terrible are actually pretty good. You're watching it back, you're like, that's pretty good. There's a concept in Buddhism that everything is empty except the meaning you give it. We assume we know what people are thinking of us, why they haven't texted us back, why they don't ask us to hang out, why we're not getting invited out. And your mind is gonna spiral down and come up with those scenarios to fulfill it. And so that might actually affect you reaching out to them because I'm not gonna text them. They haven't texted me in 2 months. I know something's wrong. I know that last interaction that we had, that was it. That was why they're not texting me back. They're jealous. You know what? They're jealous. And we spiral and spiral. Now the flip side could be maybe they're just busy. Or maybe they're thinking the exact same thing and waiting for you to go first. By taking the initiative, you actually get the thing you want. By planning the night where you all get together and eat dinner, you're actually getting invited out. Overgeneralizations, perceiving a global pattern of negative based on a single interaction. What I've found talking with people is a lot of times why people are the political camp that they are doesn't necessarily because they love everything that camp stands for. It's because they kind of hate the interactions they've had with the other side. It might be as simple as one argument with someone, in this case, let's just say a staunch Democrat, who believes X, Y, Z, and ABC and all these different things, and now you associate all Democrats in that camp. You had a terrible interaction with a person who voted for Donald Trump. Now, oh my God, I can't believe anyone votes for Donald Trump. You project the negativity of that singular interaction or conversation that you had with that one person onto an entire group. Now that's just the context of stereotypes. Overgeneralization you do personally to yourself. And oftentimes this comes from past traumas, big or small. I've told the story before, but when I was in 5th grade, I got called up to do 11. Multiplication on the board. You know, there's the ones, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, so on and so forth, tens, all the way up through 11. I didn't know how to do 11s. So I go up there and I'm shaking and everyone else is done with their multiplication table. I'm stuck on the 11s and the teacher kind of berates me in front of the whole class. I get super embarrassed. Well, from that one experience, I overgeneralized with myself and have the belief that I'm no good at math. Up until my 20s when I started getting into business and I realized I love math. Numbers make sense, data makes sense. We've all known a friend who was in a relationship, and despite the relationship seeming good from the outside, when you got closer and the conversation got deeper, she was convinced that her partner was cheating. Well, is there any evidence that he's actually, being unfaithful to you? No, but I just know he is. Okay, well, is he being suspicious? Is he talking to other people? No, but I totally just feel it. Right, and do they have a history in the past of cheating? No, but I feel that he's cheating. And so that might make them go through their phone. That might make them cause all these arguments. That might even repel the person away and they lose a good relationship. Or someone who wakes up one day and doesn't feel like they love them anymore. And so immediately they take action and decide that's not the person for me and they break up. Feelings, emotions are not bad, but letting them guide your big life decisions is. Here's why. This is called emotional reasoning. Letting your emotions guide your interpretation of reality. I feel embarrassed, therefore I'm an idiot. I feel down today, therefore I'm depressed and never gonna be happy again. But the problem is that emotions change on and off on a whim. Any given day, you feel dozens and dozens of emotions. Some of them often conflict. So if you believe every single emotion that you have, every single feeling that you have, as the end all be all, this is 1000% my truth and I'm acting on it, it's gonna set you up for a choppy life. Now, what's the solution? How do you tell what emotions are true and what emotions are false and you should ignore? That's a very tough question. In my personal opinion, emotions are very different than gut instincts. There are times where you feel sketched out and you are correct. Listen to those. There are times where you feel like the relationship isn't working out and you can listen to those. The most important question is this: how long has that feeling been? There's a huge difference if you've been feeling this way for a minute versus a month. It's probably a better sign that it's true the longer you felt this way. For example, you feel like quitting your job for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, that's a pretty good telltale sign that that's a true feeling. But if you just go in one day, it's natural. We all have parts of our jobs that we don't like. So if you just go in one day and you feel like you want to quit and you just stand up and throw the papers and say, I quit and screw you all, that's letting your emotions guide your decision making. Probably not going to get you that far in life. If you're ready for a transformation, if you're ready to create and shift into the 2.0 version of you, we have a program that helps you do that in 10 weeks. It guides you along that whole process. And I'll invite you to apply now down below, because I know you're serious if you're at the end here. It's a 10-week program. You come alongside myself. There's a small group. You get to have awesome conversations, talk about big ideas, as well as really put in the work it takes to transform. So if you're serious, I'll link down below where you can apply. You can have a conversation with one of our coaches for free. See you in the next one. Till then, stop settling, start living. See ya.